Hi everyone, welcome back. It's been a while, I know, but I haven't really had any time or money to be working on any projects. I've been kind of just waiting until our next race for me to make a new video. And the day came, and we aren't racing. So if you're new to the channel, thank you all very much for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like. If you go back through our back catalog and like what you see, or even like what you see now, who knows? But please feel free to do that. I really would love to grow this thing into something that becomes self-sustaining someday, and maybe that day will come, maybe it won't, but we'll see. I mentioned earlier that we were supposed to be racing this week, and we are not. Again, I had nothing to really work on and no plans for the channel as of right now. That wouldn't bore the heck out of you. So I was just gonna wait until the next race to put something out. Problem is, we got word today, 2 days before we were supposed to hit the racetrack, that the event got postponed. It's going to be moved to August, which it's July now. And we were going to go and run a Tuesday-Wednesday show. Not sure why, but I guess the track had dates available for the lessees of the racetrack, and they're kind of at the will of the track, so they gotta do what they ask, so that stinks. I hate it for those guys. So we're gonna run back-to-back races on back-to-back days in August, midweek. So I've got a race car sitting here doing absolutely nothing, and I figured I'd give you all an update on what I found between the last race, which was an absolute horrible failure, and now. So here we are. I've got the air conditioning running. I've got the Xfinity Series race on, which I'm taking notes for my podcast. And I've got a race car on stands with a sheet over it, just like usual. But I did find a few things since the last race, and I don't think I told you all. All right, so a comedy of errors befell my car, and I found this spring collapsed completely. Gone. Threw it away. Let's move over to the next trouble spot, the right front. I found that spring completely collapsed, which I took over to my Spring Raider, which you can probably see there. Oh, finger's too close. But it's got a bunch of rubber gloves on it. You can kind of see it. And we found springs collapsed right rear and right front. Luckily, I have these tools in my disposal so that I can go, and if something is completely screwed up and just not working like it used to, I can take things out of the car or take measurements of stuff that's in the car, and I can actually double check it against what it's supposed to be as opposed to what it is now. And when you take springs out and you put them on a Spring Raider and they come up completely different to what they're supposed to be by a range of, I don't even want to know how many percent. Too many percent, like collapsed, unusable, junk, broken, essentially. It's surprising. And I tested my machine because I have a whole pile of springs down here. And I just stuck one in there that I never used that's been rated on the same machine, and it came out exactly what it said. Exactly what it said engraved into the spring, and exactly what I rated. And I put in little Sharpie on the spring. So that added to the scrap pile, and that added to my frustration because we should have been way better than we were last week. Now, obviously, I went back to school, not literally, figuratively. Hopped on the old computer, pulled up old racing articles that Circle Track or Speedway Illustrated or whoever wrote. I found a lot of iRacing articles, which I'm like a little weary of. It's like, I don't deal with that. I play iRacing, but I don't trust it for my race car. Anyway, I pull up those articles and I start reading on chassis setup and dynamics and this, that, and the other thing, and a whole bunch of technical stuff that if you race, you'll be interested in. And I took a look at the car and I said, with what was in there, I'm surprised it even turned into the corner or out of the corner or did anything remotely car related. So I did pick up a couple upgrades. I got some new trailing arms, which you can probably see, the nice shiny black ones. I pulled out the old ones, which I think I put in a bucket now. I can't even show you. But the left side one, when I put these new mounts in, the left side one was straight, and then I went and ran a race, and now it's got like a kink in it. Don't ask me, I have no idea where I came from. No clue. I got a spare gear, which, you know, I'm changing over to the 9-inch stuff, and I only have one gear set, and that's what was currently in the car. So now I have two, so at least I got a backup. I was able to scrounge some money together to get that. Quick Performance out of Iowa. It took them a long time to get it to me, but they've been dealing with so much stuff, and they were super cool. So they helped me out in getting that. Obviously, it was a little later than I wanted, but no harm, no foul. So they were cool. They helped me out. It was a damn good price. I can't complain at all. They threw the case in for free. That's like an $80 case. So I also went through and I put this transmission together. I can't point because I'm backwards here. This one here, I had it laying around and there were some gears missing, and I found some in my pile that were actually the correct ones, because I keep an inventory of all my gears and transmission stuff, because I build literally all my own stuff, and I put together another spare transmission. So now I got like 5 spare transmissions, so that's cool. I'll be able to do that. Now this center section I built last year when I first went to the 9-inch, and it was all basically spare parts that came out of another 9-inch that's in my closet that's over there. You can only access from outdoors. Like I got the center section, the snout, or the bearing cap plate, whatever you want to call it, the yoke, pretty much everything was already on it. I just swapped the ring and pinion and the spool and the bearings, obviously, and I built my own rear. And I pulled it out and I noticed that I hadn't, you know, tightened down these side adjusters enough, and the bearings kind of wore in and it had a little bit of play. So I went back and tightened everything up with all my tools, and it's perfect. You look at the wear, it's like right in the middle. I also got this done inside the car. My feet were on fire at the end of the race, and they never usually were. So I went and got an All-Star or something, whatever the brand is, reflective mat, like a heat mat, and I put it under my feet. I used to have one in here. My feet wore a hole in it, and then I got wrecked and a cap came off of my master cylinders, and it spilled brake fluid all in it, and I'm like, nope, I just took it and threw it away. So we got that. By the way, if nobody's ever actually looked inside my race car, I did all the tin work in this car. Every ounce of tin work. And you can see that right here, it's a different color forward, because when I went to Stafford, I had this bar here straight down, and there was a little bit of a foot box, and they said, can you just kick that out so that people don't complain about foot boxes and stuff? It's an old rule, but can you help us out? And I said, sure thing. Hacked it out and put a whole new firewall in the front, and I even bead rolled it. And I do have a fire bottle. That's probably a good idea. Yeah, again, not great work, but not bad work, I don't think. It served me well for the last handful of years, probably since 2015 or so. Up front, I haven't really done anything different. I did go through the ignition because my feet were burning, so I was concerned about ignition timing. So I checked it, and because I checked my timing, a lot of people say, oh yeah, you rev it to $3,000 and that's your timing. And it's like, well, you know, there are certain circumstances that allow for maybe a cheaply made HEI, or, you know, something with an advanced mechanism in it, to go further than that. So I double checked it, and it kind of would creep up 2 degrees, and I think it was kind of making the engine a little bit hot. So I bumped it back down and revved it up a whole bunch, and it's fixed now. So hopefully that won't be an issue. It wasn't really getting hot. It was like 190 with the fan on. But I have a double pass radiator just to keep it cool. I was thinking about putting a restrictor in it to try it, but my engine guy said you don't really need to. Then again, he's pretty much everybody's engine guy around here because he deals with crate engines. I greased all my fittings. That's something you should do as well, is preventative maintenance. Go down and grease. If you have like tubular uppers like this, you should take and grease the ball joint, grease the bearing ends, grease the lower ball joint, grease your steering rods. I got stock stuff on this thing, so what are you gonna learn from me, right? So basically I've had a whole bunch of time to go around and do a whole bunch of preventative maintenance. Heck, I even had time to pull the center section out because I got that new one. So I took this one out. I even checked my inner axle seals, because if you're running one of these 9 inches and you don't have axle seals in it, especially in a floater, it's just gonna fill your hubs up with oil. So put some inner axle seals in it. Make sure you grease the hell out of them too. Just pack them with low temperature grease. Yeah, these aren't really speed secrets. This is just maintenance. Go out and race, have fun. I'm not here to really screw with people or nothing. I'm trying to help as well. I mean, speaking of help, I have ulterior motives for making this update video because I'm in trouble. Obviously, I've been in trouble for years racing this car because I don't have any money whatsoever. I mean, I am hanging on by my fingertips and there are no nails there. They're just really, really smooth. And it's been really, really tough, especially lately. This car is outdated by a lot. And I think I'm getting beaten by other cars because I don't have the ability to really get the center of gravity down or place lead weight the way that I want to. And that's really starting to become a problem because so many people are switching over to lighter weight bodies, lighter weight chassis, and what sucks is that the rules allow for this. And it's become so important to have this type of thing in your car that it's really starting to overtake me. You know, back when everybody was running essentially the same thing, I was quick enough to win any week. Now it's all become so specialized that I don't really have the equipment anymore. I mean, this chassis is almost 20 years old. It's about, hang on, I have to do math. It's 17 years old. Age shouldn't matter too much in a car as long as it's straight, but if you're racing a car with a heavier chassis that you can't move lead around in, you're probably going to get beat by somebody with a lighter car that can put weight wherever the heck they want it, and it's probably going to handle way better than yours. So I'm really kind of launching an appeal with this. If you'd like to sponsor me or help me out in any way, I'll make it happen. I don't know how, but I can try to figure it out. I have to upgrade my chassis. There's no two ways around it. I have to do it. If I want to keep up, I have to do this. Or I have to overweight my car, which is counterproductive, and hope that it actually will keep up being maybe 200 pounds heavier than everybody else. Bottom line is, if I can't make this thing work and be competitive against other guys who are running much newer stuff, it's gonna have to happen or I'm gonna have to quit racing. With the budgets the way they are right now in my pocketbook, I have good sponsors. Like, I genuinely have good people helping me. But their money is typically to go help fund me during the year, like tires and other expendable items and stuff like that. And I know it sounds kind of silly, but I know there's people out there who can kind of laugh at the idea of spending $2,000 to $4,000 on a chassis or on anything that they need for their race car. There's people out there. There's lots of them. There's a whole bunch of them. Like, I'll know people who will have their engine let go and have a brand new one in their car the next week. I can't do that. My engine lets go, I'm out of racing. If I wreck the car, I'm out of racing. If I incur too much damage to be able to fix, I'm out of racing. This is why I've accrued this giant warehouse, this massive amount of parts in a small place, is to try to keep me going for as long as possible. Like I said, after my dad died, it's just hanging on, just clinging to racing. I've managed to win in that time, but man, you know, time is marching on and it's kind of leaving me behind. And if I can be really, really clever and I can get this to work, you know, but it's going to take a lot of work. You know, it's really going to take a lot of work. I mean, I'm incredibly clever when it comes to saving money and doing things on a budget. But I need at least, I don't know, $2,000 to come up with a chassis. And the way my budget works is I don't have $200 or $2,000. Both. I don't have either one to really do this. I work side hustles for cash just so I can bank it away and save that money to go racing. I'll get paid $100 here, $150 there. I'll take it and I'll stick it in a little envelope and I'll go racing on it. Can I save up $2,000 that way? Probably not. So that's why I'm kind of launching an appeal. If I can get a sponsor or somebody to help me out, I can win races. Trust me, I have plenty of times. It's just, I don't want to give up racing. Even if I can't do it, I gotta find a way to do it. And this is one of the only things that I have left in life that I enjoy, and I don't want to give it up. I will if I have to, just to be an adult, but I don't want to if I don't have to. I've made it work for years now, but it's getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And when it's going to cost me $1,500 to fill an oil tank, and I need $2,000 for a race chassis, do you think I got it for a race chassis? Nope. Sure as heck don't. So if you or someone you know wants to sponsor a racer, or at least share the page so I get enough followers that I can get monetized and then this thing becomes self-sufficient, great. Awesome. What the hell is that? Sorry. I don't know what kind of creatures I got living in here, but they poop awful big. Anyway. Hit me up, DM me. I'm Brent Gleason 01 on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, probably TikTok too. I don't remember. I only put 2 videos up there. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with that, but that's my update for now. I might put out a video of me going to practice. Again, that side hustle stuff that I do might afford me the gas money and the tow money and the entrance money to go bring this car down to Waterford some Thursday, and I can throw some cameras in there and maybe we'll make a day of it and post a video for that. But I just wanted to post up a little bit of an update because I haven't been on here in a long time. People took the time to subscribe to me, and I need to pay them back by offering them some kind of a content, even if it's just my stupid head floating in your face for 15 minutes about absolutely nothing. But I did give you a little bit of an update on what I'm doing. thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. I hope my air conditioning wasn't too noisy in the background here. And hopefully someday I will actually be able to offer you the content that you deserve just for subscribing to my channel. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate it. Spread the word. Tell your friends. I'll see you next time.